It's over. It's fucking Jover, dude. I was right. I was right. Pay up, bitches. Pay up. Let's go. I did everything right. And they indicted me. They even got him on his good side. Dude, he looks so hot. He looks so fucking hot. Also, Eddie was also right. I can never say his name. Edinger Momentum was correct, even though I clowned on him. He was right. Listen, he was right. He got lucky. Total vindication. He was correct. Edimentum. He's mewing? What does that mean? Bro, he put that shit on, dude. Look at him. Why is he flexing that there's like, that he posted this photo? I don't understand. We saw the photo 100 times in this fucking chat. You can't tell me he didn't go full blue steel. I told you he did. I told you he was going to. Can you watch the Andrew Tate, Alex Jones interview? Fuck no. I told you that he would serve cunt. I told you that he would smolder. I told you that he would hit the blue steel. And he fucking did. He did. Bro, this random dude beat a CNN anchor to the punch. No, he wasn't the only person that posted it, chat. What the fuck is wrong with you? There was hella people that posted it in here before him. What do you... How is it that you're in here and you experienced this happen and like you still think like your favorite Twitter account posted it first? Like we saw it like 8 times before he posted it. That's why I thought it was fake still. It doesn't even matter. Like he was probably practicing his face in the mirror last night. He looks hot. He looks fucking hot. He looks hot as fuck. I'll say it. I don't give a fuck that other people are saying it. Okay? I don't give a fuck what other people are saying it. Where's Ethan? I'm going to text Ethan right now. There was no way he was going to smile. There was no way. No shot. What's the payout, by the way? Did we do the Gamba? What's the Gamba situation? It's fake? No, it's not. CNN posted it, chat. I'm not gonna... dude, I'm not gonna fucking... Let's see what CNN's saying live on the fucking mugshot. Trump is officially a mug shouty. Okay, that's it. It's done.
It makes me sad that a former president has conducted himself in such a way that it's warranted not one indictment, not 2, not 3, but 4 different jurisdictions, and to now be booked into the Fulton County Jail and included in that indictment is...
What are you saying?
Harassment and
fake according to this guy? Yeah, fuck CNN. This guy, who's a #1 fan of NASA's SLS rocket, enjoyer Roman history, with a fucking blue check mark,
Jake, I mean, you see that
posted a fucking local news media article from yesterday. Have some media literacy!
Of the former president
fuck!
of the United States.
Yeah, it is a stark and
this guy's a dino enthusiast.
Side of your screen.
He must know better.
Jail inmate number P01135809, otherwise known as 40 of the United States, Donald John Trump. We see on the right side of the screen his Boeing 757 about to take off from Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport in Atlanta, Georgia, on its way back to Newark, New Jersey.
Even if this,
no doubt,
even if this is still fake, that doesn't make that guy right. This photo is a banger. Oh. Anyway. Why is he and only he pictured at a slight angle? Because he's the fucking president, dog. He can do whatever he wants. He's still the president. He's the president to me. He's still brother.
In history, I mean, how many images are there of Donald Trump? He is maybe the most famous person on the planet, but this particular photo with the Fulton County, I mean, you can tell me exactly what this is emblazoned on the corner there. That is going to be iconic and infamous is probably a better way to say it. And I think that you said,
bro,
that,
liberals are so bad at jokes, man. It's just, yeah, get it? Because he has tiny fingers, guys.
Are going to embrace it, and they are going to use it as the ultimate example.
I just got a text message from Donald Trump. It's not even a joke. President Trump, this is my last text to you before my arrest. Patriot. I hope you'll read my personal note. Today at 3:31 p.m., I got this message from the Trump campaign. And it's really interesting because I've been a recipient of Trump text messages from the campaign since 2015, and I've never actually unsubscribed. He has never stopped texting me.
Facts that we're talking about here, which is a former president, office holder, top office holder in this country, trying to hold on to power, trying to do it by any means necessary, doing so in a way that led to multiple.
I'm not kidding. We could technically figure out who was the first one to release this mugshot because I was clicking on all the links earlier. Like, we could isolate it down to whoever fucking released it first on Twitter. I don't know how. Oh my God, it's already here. Trump steal. Stop. What the fuck?
They get to see the entire story. The advantage.
Showing up at the White House with the guy coming after you and shaking hands and sitting down and having a tea. And Trump's refusal to do that, to that tradition that's not bound in law, but is part of our tradition, is what has led us to this moment.
We should point out there have been numerous disputed elections in the history of this country. In 1876 between Rutherford B. Hayes and Samuel Tilden. In 2000 between Al Gore, George W. Bush. Jamie Gengel, on that note.
None have ever gotten to this point.
No, that's my point. I'm agreeing with you. Ultimately, they had their day in court. They lost, and they conceded defeat. Yeah. On that note, I want to Donald Trump on the tarmac on his way home this evening. We did not bring you those comments, but just to tell you one of the things he said, and I want to get your reaction, Jamie Gengel. He said, it's a very sad day for America. And then he went on to say, we challenged an election. You should be able to challenge an election. And then later in his comments, he said, we did nothing wrong at all. We have every right, every single right to challenge an election that we think is dishonest, that we think is very dishonest. And that's accurate. He has every right to challenge an election. And in fact, Jamie Gengel, as you know, he exercised those rights. And then he went beyond it.
Right. He exercised them and he lost over and over again. 61 out of 62 court cases in battleground states. The Supreme Court declined to hear his case twice. That's a court where he appointed
He has some friends on
a
the
lot
court.
of justices.
Yeah.
There were 3 recounts in Georgia. And let's just remember his own Attorney General, Bill Barr, on December 1st said that there was no.
How do we have people in this chat going, is Eder Guerrero CIA? Bro, you were literally here. You were here when there were 100 links linking that photo. I genuinely don't understand how you can look at the things that are happening in front of you and then when new information is presented by another person who's not familiar with all the details, you go, oh yeah. See, everyone is doing it now. Everyone is doing their own personal pet, Twitter Def Noodles tweeted it 30 minutes before the media. Oh, God, it's going to be the most cringe news cycle of all time of, every single person being my favorite Twitter account posted this before the media. My favorite Twitter account, whatever the fuck it is, posted this way before the media. You saw it. There was like a bunch of random ass accounts on Twitter posting it. Like way before anybody else. This kind of shit should not be this kind of attitude about like being first to post, it should definitely not be celebrated. Like this is how you fucking spread as much fake news as possible. Hoscourt is going nuts right now. I think you should nuke it. Why? What are they doing now? What are they fucking doing in there?
They tried to play off of it and capitalize, I think, on this idea, and now suddenly it appears they've grown a conscience. I mean, this, if you think about this indictment, and I kind of step back sometimes from the case, because I do think that lawyers need to think about how to lose it, and even as this coming motion is before us on Monday, and the federal judge will hear this, 154 of the 157.
This guy's my favorite.
That are alleged in this
the
indictment
big city lawyer.
occurred while he was a sitting president of the United States.
Sitting president of the United States. 154.
154 of 157.
That's staggering. So everything except for that last document that he sent in September 2021.
And those are the two counts that occurred after he was president. So when you think about the enormity of the decision that this federal judge has to make about, do we move this case, is this a federal executive? Clearly he is. Do we move it to federal court, or do we let it stay in the state court? If this is not a case that merits some consideration about transfer back to federal court, I don't know that there ever would be one.
And he's already facing charges at the federal level on similar conduct, maybe not exactly.
So let me ask you a question, Andy McCabe. You were acting FBI director. You were deputy FBI director. You dealt with Donald Trump when he was president as a law enforcement official. Did you look at that image on the screen right now? Did it ever occur to you that that would happen? A mugshot of Donald Trump?
Of course not. Right? Of course not. And my interactions with Donald Trump, my personal interactions with him, were very early on in his administration. I
love how much they're showing this
into the future as to where we would end up. But I think the point that you make on the consideration of removal, there is no question that could be a very effective legal strategy. It is an obvious and momentous thing for any of these similarly situated defendants to do. But I still think it's going to be very hard here. And I totally respect your tallying of the counts, but ultimately, to make the case that these acts were committed within the scope of their authority, they have to have been authorized by federal law. He had to have been acting under the authorization of some federal
This court is so
authority.
stupid.
And federal law gives the President of the United States zero role in the calculation of state election results. And that's ultimately what they were all doing.
But it does allow the
Y'all are so dumb. Stop posting the same sticker, you fucking idiots.
to inquire about possible elections in federal elections.
And inquire he did.
So,
This is a good one,
when
too.
I think about, was he in fact a federal executive, I try to ask, at what point is he not the President of the United States?
Yeah.
He can't ride his bicycle and not be president. He can't take if he has to have surgery for a minute, they have to bring somebody else in. He's president 100% of every day.
Yeah.
You know, going back to where you live and where you practice in Georgia, I'm also reminded of some of the things that we learned during the January 6th hearings and since in other court cases in Georgia about what went on in and around the then president's circle. I mean, the intimidation of those two poll workers, the lies about the things that they were saying that they were stealing votes. Never mind this slate of fake electors, which is the subject of several of these counts, and questions about whether that move and the work that these characters did, presumably on behalf of the then president, to try to steal the Georgia election from Joe Biden, which is effectively, I mean, the opposite of what Donald Trump says happened.
But this transfer motion will be not about, is there even probable cause that the indictment is correct or that there's enough evidence to move forward. This is just, is there a plausible claim that he was serving in his federal capacity? So it's a low standard to me.
Joining me now, our senior legal affairs correspondent, Paula Reed, who is outside the Fulton County Jail. And Paula, we just saw Donald Trump leave after being arrested and booked. When is he next expected back in Atlanta, Georgia?
Well, Jake, it's going to be busy next month in this case because the next step here is arraignment. Remember, in his federal cases, he was processed and then he had his initial appearance and his arraignment all at once. But here in Fulton County, things come in phases. First, they negotiated bond, then he surrendered. Then they schedule this first hearing before the judge. And the district attorney, Fani Willis, has said she would like to do these arraignments the week of September 5th. So the former president and his
What is this?
co-defendants will all
What the
have
fuck
to
is going on?
to Fulton County for that arraignment. We
Discord,
can
stop
also
posting
expect
dumb shit.
simultaneously to continue to see legal challenges. We know that Mark Meadows and Jeffrey Clark have already filed challenges trying to move their cases to federal court. We expect the former president will likely try the same. Rudy Giuliani has also suggested on one of his podcasts that he intends to do that. But Jake, we also have to see these legal teams really solidify. This might be part of why the former president just secured his new attorney, because they only have a finite amount of time after that arraignment to file certain challenges to this indictment.
Is this real, guys?
For example, Rudy Giuliani needs to figure out who is going to represent him throughout this trial, because of course the lawyer who helped with his bond, Ryan Tevis, has been non-committal about handling this entire case. So it's going to be a really busy next month for this Fulton County case.
And the trial, or the hearing rather, on whether or not this should be heard in a federal court, this should be transferred from Georgia to a federal court, that's Monday, is that right?
That's exactly right.
Oh, I want to see how Fox is glazing it.
Let's just take that in for a second. You do see some anger in the eyes.
Dude, they're so
And I
parasocial.
don't like the ghoulish coverage of it. CNN got the image leaked to them before the rest of the media. That tells you everything you know about the process. Your reaction, this does elicit an emotional response.
Well, I would hope that people understand what time it is. I mean, we are in a cold civil war with the un-American left. They have decided that they will use the quote-unquote legal system as a weapon against political opponents. And I don't think many on the right fully understand that. I thought that was one of the biggest disappointments in last night's debate, that nobody really understood that the greatest threat to our freedom and liberty in this country is not Russia, it's not China, it's the administrative state. And they want somebody, the voters want somebody who's going to stand up to the system and actually crush it and return us back to representative constitutional government. And the left fears Trump. I mean, this is very apparent to me watching this. They fear him. They view him as an existential threat that if he does become the nominee and actually win in 2024, he's made it very clear what he will do. He will go to war with the administrative state and break it apart. And they cannot have that happen. They cannot allow him to get back into power to achieve that. And they're going to do everything that they can to prevent that. And I have to tell you, Jesse, unless the right wakes up and understands the only path forward is mutually assured destruction, lawfare launching nukes right back at the left, they will continue down this path. They're not going to stop. They're not going to somehow go, oh, yeah, we should stop this. This isn't good for a republic. They are going for the win. And until we actually fully understand that and fight back and make them understand there will be mutually assured destruction, their behavior is only going to get worse.
You're saying Republicans should promise mugshots of Democrats?
100%. They've already posted 4 indictments on Trump, and our state AGs are sitting there looking at each other like they don't know what time it is. At some point, they actually have to understand we are in a very interesting time as a country. Forget what you think from the past, where we've come from. Where we are right now is a fight for the actual future and existence.
This stuff is always going to be funny to me because, like, they genuinely have always operated under the assumption that, like, the entire criminal justice system is supposed to serve their needs and is supposed to attack the left and only the left, or whatever they ostensibly consider to be the left, like black people, you know, whatever the right broadly categorizes as woke. You know what I mean? So, like, the fact that the absolute, like, this beacon of right-wing manhood, this pillar, this right-wing hero is now being thrown into the fucking coals and getting eviscerated by the criminal justice system is such a frustrating, it has to be such a fucking frustrating moment when you have designed your entire commentary on the criminal justice system around how beefed up they have to be. Here's the clip where you clicked on the mugshot leak. It was actually the first one you clicked.
Big box stores shutting down because these criminals are going in and just...
Is it out? Oh my God, it's the guy I shit on. It was literally NASCAR playoffs Weagle. Oh my God.